Growing, the podcast where we dig into strategies and stories that help you thrive in business and in life. I'm Wade Perry, your host, and today I'm excited to sit down with someone who is not only a dear friend of mine, but who brings both heart and expertise to her daily work. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Lara McClendon. Lara,
Hello,
thanks for
everyone.
being here. Welcome.
Thank you.
You know, Laura, we had a chance to be together on this podcast, I guess, close to about 2 years ago, maybe 18 months ago. And a lot has changed and a lot has happened in your business. And we're going to get into a lot of that. But something I wanted to do is kind of go back to the beginning and have you share with the group. Every local business has a story, right? And I always find that those stories are what people connect with most. It's what endears people to their business. So take us back to the beginning and what inspired you to leave a prior career and start your business? And what made you believe that this was the path that you were supposed to take?
So I started off my career after college as a CPA. So it's a wide variance between a travel agent and a CPA. But my entire life, I've always been a planner. I loved holidays. I loved planning travel for the kids, planning travel for the whole family. I would do all of that. But my job was a CPA, and that's what I did. And I remember one time I was having my palm read when I was back in my CPA days. And the palm reader looks at my hand and she's like, "Oh, this is the most deepest creative line that I have ever seen. What do you do?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm an accountant, you know." And so I was like, I've always been super creative and loved that aspect of anything that I do. And so during COVID, when the IRS kind of like cut back on their employees, my hours as a CPA, I was helping a friend who's a tax attorney. They kind of dwindled, and I started thinking about my next move. With my husband, Dave, getting ready to retire in 5, 6, 7 years, I was like, I got to do something that I can do from on the road. And I was like, well, I'm a Disney girl. I love all things Disney. And I was like, I love this. I could plan Disney trips for people. So I found an agency. That's kind of how I got into the travel business. I found an agency that also started off doing Disney travel. Uh, the name of the company is Marvelous Mouse Travels. My affiliation with them is Laura's Luxury Travel. And since they started, Marvelous Mouse Travels has grown to do 150 million in travel sales per year. And
Wow.
I have since realized that Disney, I still love planning Disney trips, my main wheelhouse is really just that luxury travel, Caribbean cruises, all inclusives, ocean cruises, European trips, expedition trips like National Geographic, Galapagos Islands, all sorts of things like that. So I feel like I've come to a little bit more of a creative place in my life. The palm reader would be happy about that.
So going back, started as a CPA, go to a palm reader, not what I'm supposed to do. Dave's traveling, and we start on Disney.
Yeah.
And I think that you really that was probably a great place to start to learn the travel side of the business. However, I know you and I had talked about this over the last couple of years that um, you can book a Disney vacation a lot of types of places, but a luxury travel is more about an experience and
Yeah.
customizing something. And I'm asking right now, does that spark your creative juices more than say the Disney side? I mean, Disney provides all kinds of wonderful things and families love it and you can do creative there, but does it take on a different level of tapping into your creative juices by being on the luxury side?
It really does because I've been to a lot of places, but I never tell my clients I've been everywhere. So especially when I'm looking into places that I haven't ever been, it's it's that research. It's finding out what are the cool things to do, what are the unique things to do, not just, oh, let's just go see the Eiffel Tower, but let's find something really unique about Paris or, wherever you go. But I do find that I often want to go on my clients' trips with them after I'm done planning it because I have so much fun looking into it for them. Maybe your travel agent needs to go just to, make sure everything goes smoothly.
Yeah, I can relate to that a little bit because when I'm helping somebody find a house and all of a sudden we find the one, there are many times that I look at that house thinking, wow, what would it be like to live here? This looks like it could be fun. And then I realize, no, you don't get to do that. This is somebody else's.
Right,
Sorry.
right, for sure,
Um,
for sure.
but it's and I've known you for more than about 2 decades, I think. And
Yeah.
no question, from the way you decorate your house over the holidays to scrapbooking to things that you did for your kids going through school. I remember the first time I learned that you were a CPA and I was shocked. I'm like, whoa, no, 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 no. You are way too fun and creative to be a CPA. But clearly you have found your following. And I've read a lot of the testimonials from people. And clearly you do something that most people can't do. So
Yeah, yeah.
bravo.
A lot of my friends from the old accounting days are like, "Wow, you have found what you're meant to do for sure."
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's actually a great dovetail. One of the themes that we talk about on Green and Growing is finding the things that truly fill your cup, that enrich your life, that make time go by like it's standing still. And it's rare that people get to do that. Running a business, it's not easy. So what keeps you energized? There's the fun creative side of it, but at the end of the day, you still got to run a business, and that involves keeping track of customers and invoices and all the things that go into a business. Um, what is it about serving your customers and doing what you do that makes it all worthwhile?
I mean, I think that it's just a little bit of loving every aspect of this job because with my background as a CPA, I actually enjoy, the ticking and the dotting the I's and crossing the T's. I love all of that aspect of it as well. There's not a single part of this job that I don't like. And so I feel like at the end of the day, when you have someone who genuinely loves everything that they do, it shows. And it's like back in the day when people would, invite you over to see the slideshow of their vacation and nobody wanted to go.
Yep.
Like, I actually want to go. I want to go and see that. So I think just I could sit at my desk from the moment I get up till the moment I go to bed and I'm working, and whether I'm tracking commissions or if I'm planning a trip for somebody or if I'm sending invoice for somebody or doing my own back end stuff or if I'm doing the social media aspect. I love that part of it. I just love what I do, and I think it shows with my clients.
So yeah, I'm gonna divert just slightly. I know that you go and experience many things with Dave and sometimes without. And I guess where I'm going with this, does it change when you've actually been there and experienced the luxury trip when you are now talking to somebody that, hey, I've been there, I've done that? Does it change your conviction? Does it change how they respond?
I think that it does. I think the thing is, I do go on a lot of trips, and some of them are with Dave, but a lot of them are on my own through my agency. And
Okay.
so when you've been able to go to a resort or go on a specific ship or go to a location, you really do feel what that feels like. And so you can confidently talk to your client and say, okay, you don't want this one because I know you. I laugh all the time because people will put out on the internet, where should I go on vacation? And best resort. And I'm always like, that is not an answer that you should be getting from people on the internet, because what's good for you isn't necessarily what's good for the next person. So don't listen.
Right.
Talk to somebody who gets to know you. That's one of the things that I love about my job is truly getting to know my clients, because then when I'm out and about touring resorts, I can say, oh my gosh, this would be perfect for the Perrys. They love this kind of uh, little alcove area, those types of things. So I do think going and getting to see the places does 100% help. with serving the client.
I think you just touched on something that is not just what separates you from so many others, but it's also a genuine green and growing aspect. And that is the connection to the person that's going on the trip, sitting down and getting to know them as to what they like, what they don't like. Not only does it enable you to create a much more custom tailored luxury experience, but when you get to meet with them face to face and listen to their likes and dislikes, and whether that's culinary or whether that's lodging or whether that's geographic location, that then when you are doing your research and you find it clicks, and deep down you got it right, I've got to think that that is somewhat empowering and enriching and fills your cup.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I love when and it's funny because a lot of my clients are they're not local. They're across the United States. And so
Mm,
it is over the phone or over email, but I love it when they want to talk on the phone. People don't like to talk on the phone as much anymore. But when I can get them on the phone, I love it because sometimes I'll email somebody and they'll say, "Oh," I'll say, "Okay, you've got 12 people going. Please tell me like who belongs to who." And they'll say, "Family one, two adults, one child." And I'm like, I want the names. I want to
yeah.
know, is this Aunt Polly and Uncle Stuart, or who is this
Hmm.
going? And then it gives me a better idea of what to look for. In, two adults could be two 18-year-olds, or it could be two 70-year-olds, and that's going to be a
Right.
vacation. So
Do you
it's,
ever, when you sit down with people and you're asking them about their likes and dislikes, do you ever ask them questions like, tell me about the best trip you ever took?
I
And
do.
what made it that? I was going to say that,
Yeah.
or what is it that you've had many great trips in your past and you like this and this, but what are the things that you've thought in the back of your mind? I wonder what this would be like. Does that
That's a
ever come up?
That hasn't come up, but I do a lot of what did you like about that place? Where did you go? What didn't you like? So I do a lot of that, but that's an interesting take on it that I could definitely,
And sometimes people don't gravitate that way,
yeah,
and
yeah.
you're spot on at wanting to learn likes and dislikes. For instance, I am not a cruise guy. I have friends that love cruises. I've been on one cruise, and it was the Seabourn yacht between Italy and Greece. It was absolutely incredible. There was only 100 people. It was only one level of rooms, and that I could probably do, but I cannot get on one of these big ships. And I've got friends that love it.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I'd like to be in a small beach bungalow on a remote island somewhere, living on fruit, and I get to meet the local villager who caught the fish that morning. And if I don't have a phone for a week, I'm great. And I've got friends that look at me like, that sounds crazy. No, thank you.
Yeah.
I think it's really a tip of the cap to you, to understanding that luxury travel is all about the experience, and
Hmm.
everybody has a different idea what that experience should be.
Yeah, and it goes beyond just your lodging because I love to get in there and find those experiences. So, like you know me, I've done with my 30 days of awesome.
That was exactly what came to mind.
Yep. So I'll back up and tell 30 Days of Awesome was something that I did. I did this for 12 years, and it was started on June 10th. Every June 10th, you had to do something awesome for 30 days in a row, and you had to post about it. And it was a challenge because by day 20, you're like, ugh, I don't want to go do anything anymore. But
Hmm.
it pushes you to do something different, try something new. And because of that, I feel like I learned so much about trying new things that I'm constantly, when I'm looking at a new place, I'm looking for the not just that typical thing, that unique thing to do, that awesome thing to do. And I love the excursions and getting clients to go past just, oh, we're staying at the resort. Oh, we're doing a Royal Caribbean cruise. That's great. But you don't have to do the excursions from the cruise. There's this really cool thing when you get to Cozumel that you can do that isn't necessarily through the cruise line. So finding those things is a passion of mine for sure.
So everybody listening out there, I want you to really pay attention to what just happened. And you might want to rewind and listen to it again, because you can buy an airline ticket a lot of places. You can book a hotel a lot of places. But when you've got somebody that has created 360 different days of awesome, that's 30 days a year for 12 years, with something new, unique, different, that is off the beaten path. If she can do that in her own backyard, imagine what she can do in an exotic location. She is, without a doubt, equipped to find your luxury experience way better than somebody else. There's no doubt in my mind. And I have witnessed her 30 days of awesome. So for those of you listening out there, there's your nugget as to why you need to call Lara.
Yeah,
Let's move on to this. I would love to say that every business, every entrepreneur just has wonderful days that are just full of sunshine and rainbows and unicorns. And it's not always that way. Every business owner faces challenges that help them shape who they become. And even though you were very well shaped and formed and molded in your ideas and your skill set, 20 years ago, owning your own business and serving people in this type of way, it's going to change you a little bit. So looking back on your journey over the last several years of doing this, what's one lesson that you've learned, not just about running a business, but about growing as a person, that has stayed with you?
and I think the answer to that really goes back to the whole getting involved, like doing the things, because it's it's hard, even if you're confident in your life, if you step into a new role and you are now meeting new people, there's always that little bit of anxiety of like, I'm walking into this, I don't know anybody. Like going to our agency has a conference every year, a national conference, 300 agents, and like you walk into the ballroom and there's 300 people and you don't know a person and you have to just get involved. You just have to keep going. You go to a chamber of commerce meeting, you just have to make yourself get out there and put yourself out there. And I think that being able to do that throughout 30 Days of Awesome, and just really my life prior to this, with being involved with the kids' school and being the room mom and planning prom and being booster president for the swim team at the high school, like all of that really helped me to have those skills to just do it, just get out there. And you might meet one person the first day, and then you might meet another person the next day, and then you just eventually get comfortable with where you are.
I can't, I'm thinking about a CPA convention, and you have people on both sides of the banquet hall. It's like a seventh grade dance, right? Everybody's just pressed in. Nobody wants to talk to anybody
Right,
as
right.
CPAs. And I'm thinking, wow, that would be interesting. And then you come into this world, which is probably full of extroverts, people that love to create and go and do. And I've got to think that you went through, I wouldn't say a transformation, but a part of you, at least in the work side of your life, just blossomed because it was in you the whole time. Did you feel that when
Well,
once you started going?
I don't know. It's funny because Dave and I will talk about this a lot, where I don't feel like an extrovert at all. And people are like, what are you talking about? I'm like, no, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I'm one of those new extroverted introverts. So it does take, like when I'm going into something where I don't know people, it takes a lot to, like, for me to like get comfortable with stepping in. And usually by the time I'm there, I'm fine, but it doesn't energize me the way that it does like a true extrovert. I think I've just learned the skill sets over time, because back in my like early CPA days when I was just out of college, I was not the same person that I am now. I've learned the skills and, grown into myself, but
Well, it is definitely fits you well. I've known you for 20 years, and I've only known you as that type of person. So and that was still when you were a CPA. So it's been in you the whole
Yeah.
time. And I
Yeah.
think this just was the platform to have it blossom.
For sure. For sure.
Um, we have the fortunate circumstance, Laura, to live in truly a magical place called Littleton, Colorado, that most people would not believe if we described it to them. Our historic downtown is 150 years old, I believe. It looks like Mayberry from the Andy Griffith show. You could drive down the street and, any given person could not only be your next door neighbor, but that could be their aunt, their uncle, their cousin, their brother, their sister that lives in the next neighborhood over. It's really a unique place, and we are loaded with small businesses. And when I think about the incredible community that we have of local small businesses that really care about the people, you feel it when you go into our local businesses. What has the Littleton community meant to you, and why has Littleton been such a special place to build your business?
I think that that just goes back to I grew up here. I went to Columbine
Mm.
High School. I lived 3 miles from where I live right now. I went off to college, but then once I had kids, I came back, and I think that that's something you see a lot. I remember going to orientation for my daughter's high school, and there were so many teachers that grew up and in this area, and it is
Hmm.
something that just keeps coming back. So you do feel that sense of community, and people care, and people it's just it's the history there that I love the most.
Do you see in this small community that we have, and it's not like teeny tiny, but relative to America, it's not a giant city, but people do stay. They don't. I mean, I know a half a dozen people that are living in the homes that they grew up in, that their parents raised them in.
Yeah.
And so, there's a very tight knit family structure that's here. And when I think about your business, this community takes a lot of family trips. And you just look on social media and it's family trips right and left. Um,
Yeah.
do you feel that growing up here in this community, knowing the people you do, put you in a different position, a better position to plan somebody's vacation?
I think for that, it's more just that I live here, and it goes back to that, let's meet face to face. Even though I do have a lot of clients who are in different parts of the country, having those clients that are here, that I can say, hey, let's get together and have coffee and talk about your trip. Because people get
Mm.
excited to talk about their trips, like the slideshow thing. People want somebody to be excited about their trip for them. And that
Yes.
face-to-face ability is best for that, because then they get excited, they're happy to work with you, and they feel like you're a friend helping them plan the trip.
I think I'm going totally off topic, but we have so many really cool places for you to meet with our local neighbors, whether it's Chez Lizette, the creperie, or it's Born to Bake in downtown Littleton, or maybe it's Mango Tree Coffee or Little Man Ice Cream, where I know your favorite flavor is. And so those types of environments, all of these small, special local businesses provide an environment and ambiance that I think really helps people open up about their vacations when you meet with them.
100.
Um, it- anyway, I was wondering, do you see that when you're there as opposed to meeting at that coffee place with the green emblem?
For sure. No, I always, if I do meet up with a client, I'm always going to downtown Littleton, because it's supporting those other businesses that are like
Yeah,
me.
it's it's what allows us all to be green and growing and keep filling our cups.
Yeah.
Um, we're gonna have one more question, and we're gonna talk about see if you have some special offer for our audience. But at Green and Growing, we have a belief that none of us are ever really finished growing. It's an ongoing process, and we've got to commit to that. So, and it's especially true if you're an entrepreneur or a small business owner. The minute you think you know it all, you're done. It's just not going to work. So, as we're constantly evolving and growing, if you could leave our listeners with one piece of advice to help them become a little more green and growing, could be in their business, in relationships, in life, what's the advice you would give to people to become more green and growing in some area of their life?
I think the biggest thing that I've learned is that growth doesn't happen in isolation. Like, yes, get
Ooh,
involved, like I said,
good.
but find your network. Find those people who will encourage you, challenge you, celebrate your successes with you, but also be honest with you if something isn't working.
Hmm.
I think don't be afraid to try new things, because some of the biggest opportunities in my business have come from me saying yes to something that I've never done before, whether it was when I joined the social media team. That allowed me some opportunities to go on some familiarization trips that I wouldn't have had otherwise. Hosting a river cruise event at a local winery here in Denver, or just simply walking into a networking meeting where I didn't know anybody. But I think every time you step outside of your comfort zone, you learn a little bit, maybe gain a new client, maybe gain a new friend.
It, it's funny. I have zero doubt that when you meet with people, maybe not with everybody, but I'm going to guess that there are a bunch of people, the majority of people that you end up meeting with and designing a trip for. And when it clicks, because I know you are that creative at putting it together, that inevitably they come back absolutely energized. They're thrilled. It exceeded what they wanted to. And as a result, I'm going to guess you become friends with a lot of your clients.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely easier to become friends with a client than it is to get a friend to become a client. It's an easier route to go.
Well, I think the more you show people evidence of what you did for others,
Yeah,
then the more people will say, "Hey, I want some of that. Hey,
yeah,
show me that."
yeah, for sure.
And um, I'm gonna throw this out, and I want you to talk about a myth that exists in the travel industry that everybody believes or says, and it's completely false, that they really should change their thinking, and why. What do you think that myth is?
I've got two. The one is that you're gonna get a smoking deal at the last minute. That does
Hmm.
not happen hardly at all anymore. You are always going to be better off booking early. And the beautiful thing about working with a travel advisor is that if you book early and grab at least your flights, if you're going to an all-inclusive, if you grab your flights, we can adjust the resort that you're going to. We can't change the flights as much, but we can still adjust those resorts. We can be looking for something, but at least you have something, because too often people wait and the prices tend to actually go up. So that's one
Hmm.
myth. And then the other myth is that working with a travel advisor is actually going to cost you money. People think that we charge these fees, and there probably are some travel advisors out there that do charge fees, but it's basically whatever you're going to be able to find, I'm going to be able to get that price, possibly better, but I definitely save you a lot of headaches, a lot of time, a lot of research, and then I'm there for you, if something were to go wrong on your trip. So it's all free for you. That's the other thing.
So you're included.
I'm included.
You
You're actually paying a travel advisor fee when you book by yourself. If you book at Marriott, at Disney, Royal Caribbean, Seabourn, when you just book it on your own, you're paying a travel advisor fee. They just don't have to pay it to anybody. So you're not getting
ooh,
services
ooh,
that you're
ooh,
paying
there's the
for.
dirty little secret of the
Mhm.
industry. As
Yep.
long as I'm paying for it, well, then I want my Lara,
Right. Why
right?
not? Why not?
Oh boy, that's like waking up hungover and realizing that you didn't party the night before.
That's terrible.
That's
That's a
terrible,
terrible thing. Yes.
right? You shouldn't be
Yeah.
like that. Well, Lara, let me ask you this. Do you have anything you'd like to offer to our viewers, our listeners?
Yes, for sure. So I can offer, and this is a little bit hard because it does depend on the package that you would book with me.
Hmm.
Anybody that comes to me from this podcast, from hearing this podcast, just let me know, and you will get a gift card prior to your travel. If you're doing a cruise, it might be onboard credit, but that gift card will be based on the the package that you purchase. So it could be anywhere from an extra $50 up to an extra $300. Just here you go, free money. And then if you happen to be booking 2026 travel, I'm going to double that.
26. So meaning be in the next 6 months.
Yes, if you want to travel, if your travel takes place in 2026, that offer is doubled.
Okay, so just so we got this straight, I'm paying for a travel advisor whether I use one or not. So I might as well use Lara. And if I mention the Green and Growing podcast, there's probably some travel funds, some credits that I'm going to make my trip even better. Like,
Yep.
I don't know, maybe I've gone on a helicopter tour of Hawaii. Never
Yep.
know.
Yeah.
Awesome. That is a great offer. I hope everybody out there listening takes advantage of this. I can tell you this, when you are away somewhere, foreign country, 8 hours away, different language, different currency, and something doesn't go exactly as planned, who are you going to call? If you don't have Lara, who are you going to call? But when you have Lara, you've got 1-800-Lara, and she's going to fix whatever it is. And
Yep.
it's not a matter of if something's going to go wrong on some type of a trip, it's when. And it doesn't happen to everybody, obviously, but it does happen to some. You don't want it to happen to you. And if it does, you want somebody like Lara there to save the day. And she does wear a cape. She just wears it on the inside. Just saying. Lara, thank you so much for being with us today. It's great to get an update. I'm sure everybody out there got a deeper view of who is Lara, the background of Lara, and why she does what she does. And anybody that loves what they do as much as you do, you have to be good at it. There's just no way you can like something this much and not be good at it. So thank you for making other people's lives green and growing by providing family memories, because I read this the other day. No young adult will ever remember their greatest day of screen time, but they will remember the trip they took with their family. 100%. So, hey, thanks for joining us on this episode of Green and Growing. If this episode sparked something in you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe wherever you happen to be listening. Stay connected with us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube for more inspiration and exclusive content. And remember, life is about progress, not perfection. Cheers to being green and growing. It's a great life. Welcome to Green and